Kay Sides is the founder of Hatch, a leading Los Angeles-based fashion showroom, and Rome, a sustainable footwear brand inspired by her active, adventurous lifestyle. With a career spanning brand strategy, product development, and creative direction, Kay has helped shape the success of global labels including Lacoste, Alexander McQueen, Coming Soon, Soludos, and James Pierce. Through Hatch, she built a creative community that merges art, commerce, and purpose. And through Rome, she's redefined everyday luxury with footwear that blends comfort, design, and conscious craftsmanship. Former ballerina and lifelong athlete, Kay brings the same passion and energy she lives by, from surfing and hiking in Hawaii to climbing Mount Kilimanjaro to everything she creates. Her work, like her life, is rooted in movement, balance, and impact. Welcome back to another episode of Live the Glamour Chats. I am here today with Kay Sides, the founder of Hatch Inc. I am looking forward to this conversation because I think it's going to be so interesting, kind of an insider view of the whole showroom and clothing. I mean, you're right in it. Um,
Yeah,
so let's just start with how you started, how you got started in the
yeah.
industry.
It was actually really organic. At that time, I was the creative director and buyer at Maxfield, and We had just started. We had just started slowly moving into a young designer, but American young designer space because historically, which obviously you know, but it was primarily all luxury European and Japanese. And I really sort of saw this whole movement of advanced contemporary designers
Mm.
starting to happen. You remember Catriona Deli was sort of the first and at the forefront of all of that. And I really hit it off with the agent at the time, the agency that was managing and representing her. And we went out to dinner one night and totally out on a whim. She's still one of my really close friends to this day, but she was like, we should open another agency together. Like, your vision, your da da da. I'm the accountant in the back. Mind you, I had no idea that any of downtown, like, fashion district even existed. I spent all my time in Europe, at all of like the European
Right.
markets from Paris, Milan, Hamburg, Florence for Gucci. Like, I just was like, what? What are you talking about? So that's how it happened. And then I just opened Hatch and um like year initially did not have any plans to kind of like have this large scale like agencies like here, New York, Dallas. I just but it happened all pretty quickly.
Mm.
And that, yeah, that's kind of, yeah.
That's amazing. I like a story like that because I feel like it's so organic and so natural the way it happened. And usually the best things come from that when they can just like evolve on their own, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you talk for anyone who doesn't know or isn't familiar with like the showroom industry? Can you talk a
Yes.
little bit about that and what it is?
Yes. So in our industry, a lot of the luxury brands and some of the very, very large commercial brands, they have their own internal sales agency. So our clients are the stores, like
Mm.
the retailers. So a big one, small one. So a Nordstrom, a Bloomingdale's, all those beautiful like specialty stores throughout the US, some internationally as well. And the only way to buy products, unless if the brand doesn't have their own internal sales like
Mhm.
division, is to go through like an agency like ours. So when we just got done with New York Fashion Week. Now we're about to start LA Fashion Week next week. Dallas Fashion Week is the week after. But we, like, for New York Fashion Week, we saw about 300 of the
Wow.
best, yeah, specialty retailers like throughout the country, as well as majors, as well as of course all the big online like a
Mm.
Shopbot, Revolve, etc. So it's a very, very vibrant environment.
Yeah. And I mean, so now you work with the buyers of the buyers who are coming in from those big stores to see you to look at the brands that or the
Yes.
brands that you have available.
Yeah.
And having a showroom, do you think it complements like because obviously you have different brands, not just one.
Yes.
Do they complement each other? I guess when a buyer comes
Yes.
in and maybe
Yeah.
they see something. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've always had sort of like a very clear, I guess you could say like our brand,
Mhm.
lane sort
Yeah.
of. And we, over the years specifically and strategically, have just always picked projects that none of them overlap into each other. Like we just won't, like we sort of like stick our kind of like throw our axe in the ground. And it's like, this is sort of in terms of the best elevated casual
Mhm.
sportswear and knits, it's James Purse. And that's the one
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
really like, yeah, none of them sort of overlap. And that's kind of the way that we've managed. We've also have always been, just because of my background as well, like have been the one multi-line agency that has been really, very committed to different categories. So we run like a very strong accessories business,
Mhm.
like jewelry. We do jewelry really well, and also footwear. I have my own footwear brand, and that's part of like the agency also. So yeah, it's really never a dull moment.
Yeah, no. And it's nice because someone could come in, like a buyer can come in and see I fit I'm this is I'm just assuming, but whole outfits and whole looks together. So they're not stuck with maybe
Yeah.
just like you can do the shoes or you can
Yeah,
put the
and you'll see
jewelry.
that. Like we manage about 14 different brand
Wow.
projects. And that average retailer will come in and she'll buy, I don't know, like 7 or 10 of the
Right.
because they all make sense, yet they're all very
Mhm.
differentiated. Like they're all elevated and in their own respect, like their own lane, but all different enough that each, that retailer can come in and buy like a number of different brands. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it makes it really easy.
It's funny because I had when I first started my career, I opened a boutique, a brick and mortar boutique. This is in
Oh,
2004,
okay.
so long ago. And I was new to the whole way
Yeah,
of
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And I was going into New York and I'm going to trade shows and trying to understand everything.
Yes,
So and
yes.
and as a new owner of a boutique, you learn quickly that you need the showrooms. Like those are the
You need
people
those
that
showrooms.
you
Yeah,
need because
yeah.
they're the ones that are gonna, they have the brands that you're looking for. They're gonna direct you in ways that you maybe don't necessarily
Yeah,
know.
we do. Yeah, you're so right. And we do so much of that. And I think and you get it from
Yeah.
just, that time period that you did. But I think, we're so grateful, but we've been working with a lot of these same retailers for decades.
Yeah.
And, some of that, exactly what you said, is just that, they really trust us. So they
Mhm.
trust us that if we're going to bring in that brand into our space at this point, that we really the brand is really like they're going to ship when they say they're going to
Yes.
ship. The product is going to be impeccable. They're going to be able to scale and really build a very like prosperous business like with this brand.
Right.
So they really count on us, like they trust us.
They
If
do.
we're like,
Yeah.
this is the next cool thing, or
Right.
this project is coming out of Europe, this is why we took this collection, this is the potential, this is the part of the collection we think is the strongest. Like they really trust us to be like, because we also know them so well.
Yeah, no,
So
and
we've
that's
been working with them, so we're like, we know exactly, like we know your demographic, we
right.
know the other brands you carry in the store, we know like where the opportunity, like, so maybe, well, there's a collection and we're like, you know what, they do really great knits, but we know you have 3 other knit brands. Don't buy the knits from here. Buy the tops
Exactly.
and the
Yeah.
dresses, or like, so
Yeah.
it's really exactly what you said
No,
of
it
like,
does.
so helpful. Like there, we are so committed to like their success.
Hmm.
We both don't exist without each other.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
it does. It makes so much sense. And on the other side, I think the brands that you represent, they're coming to you for a similar purpose because they want to know that the all the buyers that you work with are going to be ones that will want to purchase their merchandise, their
Yeah.
items. So I
Yeah.
feel like you make a statement by who you're carrying, but then also all these buyers that you're working with.
Totally. Totally.
I think they complement each other in so many ways. Would you say if a brand is looking to, is a contemporary brand and they're new to the industry, do they typically reach out to you or are you finding them? How does that work for you?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time at this stage, and we're so grateful, I think, to have had the longevity that we've had in the industry, and the integrity strategy, the way that we work and manage these brands and really build them, they come to us,
Ah,
like a
yeah.
lot. Sometimes I mean, of course, we find, and we're always sometimes, and I think what is really different about our agency, and most of the bigger agencies are all the same, but we have so much stability.
Mm,
So a lot of the brands that we don't change, like
yeah.
they're, the game, and this too, like in anything, not just our industry, but is to build a brand, not
Right.
just push products.
Right.
It requires two very different skill sets, respect, not one is not better than the other. We've always been very run and managed very strategically and analytically. That's just sort of my wheelhouse. So it's we're always focused on like building and scaling and making this line or this project into a brand that can, and that's hard. It's really hard in a, our industry obviously is very volatile. It's a perishable industry. It's a trend driven industry. So it really takes like a lot of strategic
Mm,
acumen, as well as, there's parts of it that are, you just constantly have to be looking. Like a brand is like a human. At
yeah.
every stage of the game, you're like at a different place, like
Mm,
in the lifespan, in your lifespan. So that way that you run and manage, or strategically position a brand, like it has to change. You can't
right.
just do it, like the
Mm,
same strategy of when you're launching a brand, like that's not the same when the
mm,
brand is 5 years old. If it makes it to five, if
right.
it makes it to 10, if it can even make it like past 10, it's like it requires like a very different way of like looking at the brand every single stage of the way, if you want it to continue to grow and flourish, and also to remain aspirational. Like that's
Mm,
really difficult. Like it's easy to talk about it, to be like, yeah, yeah, I'd like to have that. But you and I can count like the number of
oh yeah.
brands that you're like, God, that's like X amount of years later, and that brand is still aspirational. Like that's
Yeah.
incredible.
I say
Like
that all the time. I'm shocked some of the brand, I mean, from,
yeah,
20 years ago, some that I thought were going to be the best and they're going to last forever didn't. And then
yep,
some brands that I really didn't think anything about are now still here existing and they're thriving.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's interesting to me to talk to you because what you said about like building a brand and it clicked when you said it, like you really do help. You put these brands in front of buyers and people they would never have that opportunity to be in front of if they were just trying to do it on their own or just,
yeah,
trying to
completely.
reach certain people
Yeah,
because you have these relationships that you've built over
totally,
all these years.
totally.
And it's like it's funny, but you don't realize how much that can impact a brand.
It's huge. I mean, especially in today's world where the average consumer, like, and you just, use, I mean, all of us can relate to
Yeah.
this, but the average consumer is so over messaged. So they're
Hmm.
so confused of like what to buy, who to da da da, what's cool, like it's
Yeah.
just constant. So discovery does not happen online.
Mm-mm.
And new customer acquisition is so costly. It's the most costly part, one of the most costly aspects of any business. And obviously, every single business is constantly focused on new customer acquisition, because you constantly need like new customers all the time, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a different, not every brand has the ability to retain a
Mm.
customer and over and over and over again. And wholesale, so the wholesale has become more and more and more important in today's landscape, because discovery happens in a specialty store. Most of these specialty stores that are thriving and have continued to thrive all these years later, they are so savvy. They have been through like, they've been through COVID, they've been through natural disasters, they've been through like, they are not going anywhere. Some of these retailers have been around for decades,
Mm.
and the customer that they service, they're generational. They help their mother, they help their grandmother, some of they now they're helping their daughter, their nieces, it's
That's
it's a
true.
It's incredible. So these are the places that the customer trust. If
Mm-hmm.
they get a phone call from like that local specialty store to say, hey, you know what, you got to come in. We got this new line. It's from Italy. It's like, blah, 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 it's amazing. Or they're coming, you know? And if then that customer comes in and she's, you know, the owner is like, I thought of this for you. This is perfect. It's great for your trip. Coming, she knows everything about like this customer and her shopping
Yeah.
patterns. She buys it. Let's say she has a great experience with the brand. She then goes to the brand to discover
Mm-hmm.
more. So
So
then the brand
true.
acquires her as a customer. And if the brand does their job well, they can develop her and
Mm.
retain her as a customer. So it is such an important, and I also, you know, it's such a wild today's
Mm.
culture because as connected and more connected as we all are, we're also more and more disconnected.
Yeah.
Like everyone really craves like, you know, real like
Do.
intimacy, you know,
Yeah.
like they want to talk to somebody, they want to,
Yeah.
I don't know, you know,
We
they want
do.
to have that personal elevated like, you know, connection with someone. So these retailers, you know, really serve a tremendous purpose, you know, for every
Mm.
strong brand that's out there. Like, and it doesn't matter how large the brand is, the healthiest also like landscape for a brand is to have multi channels of revenue. So
Mm.
obviously they are very strong on their own DTC. A lot of them have their own retail channel, but they also have like a very healthy wholesale channel as well. They need
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah, that's important. I didn't think about that, how they do have to have these different
yeah, the
streams.
buckets.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And it is, you know, when you were talking about how the boutiques or these specialty stores have these long-term like family ties, there's one very close to me that is just like that. And I actually go in because it was the grandmother, the mother, and now the daughter is starting to take over. And
Totally.
it like, you know, it makes me want to just go in because I know
Yeah.
that they are really good with their buying, but they understand me. And it's like you said, it's like
Yeah.
that's what the customer is looking for.
Totally. Like
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, you know, if they call you or they're
they
like, no, no,
do.
no,
Yeah,
don't buy this one. You don't like these kind of pants. You like, you know, and you're like, oh yeah, amazing. Okay, yeah, perfect. I'll try those on. You know,
yeah,
and I think people feel, you know, like really good about supporting like
they
small independent business, you know, and it's
completely.
opposed to buying it online. You know, you're like,
So
you know what?
true.
If
Yeah,
I can go into this, you know, and like buy it from them, like I'm gonna do that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we all want to do that, you know?
Support. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
How would you say the trends? I mean, I'm sure you see so many trends and directions things are going. Where do you see it lately with the contemporary fashion and what people are buying or what seems to be the more popular styles that are happening now?
yeah, I think one of the existing trends that will continue to just stay no matter what is that more of an elevated casual. I think, you know, it's yes, there, you know, aspects of it become more novel, less
Mhm.
novel, like according to trend in terms of like color, maybe detail, you know, but I just think that with as complicated as our world is, people do really like and respond to feeling comfortable like in what they're wearing, and I just feel that is going to continue to be a trend that's not going to go away, you know.
James
It's
Pierce
just
seems like that category really well. Like that
amazing.
brand.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
elevated, you know, it's multi-use, you
Hmm.
know, you can wear it kind of mix, you know, for you can go to dinner in it.
Right.
You can go drop your kids off at school. You can show up in a meeting. You can travel in it. You can, you know,
Yeah.
but yet it's still elevated. You still feel put together,
Mm.
but you're comfortable,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
stylish, but comfortable. So I don't think that's going anywhere, to be honest.
Are
Yeah.
there any brands that I mean, like James Pierce, that you have that stand out to you as like a next, like a one to look at, or one that's on the way up?
Yeah, we have a couple of really exciting
Yeah,
projects that we're
yeah.
launching this year, but I can't talk about them yet.
Oh,
So we'll have to do another one
yeah,
next year.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
2026 that I can be like, oh my God, this one is like
That
going
would
to
be
be
so fun to do, to have a whole,
yeah. But
that would
yeah.
be fun to do. So you do have some in the works. You've been, has this been open since 2005? Is that when you? launched, or is that when you started?
Yeah, I think
Wow.
so. Like maybe even a little before, but around there. Yeah, I was gonna
Wow.
say about
So
20
you've
years.
really seen over those years a different movements in fashion and the way things have gone and
All
even
of it.
working with brands, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Um, do you feel like, and I know not to go into like the business side too much, but like with the wholesale and all of that, has that been like challenging? I know brands sometimes have a harder time with wholesale and like having to produce a certain amount and get it into boutiques. Has there been any change in that with, let's say, minimums or what someone's able to do, or does that stay pretty consistent?
Yeah, knock on wood, not
Yeah.
really. We've had so much, consistent stability.
Good.
So we're really, really fortunate with all of our brand partners. I will say, which won't be surprising to you, but it's definitely been a challenging year with the tariffs and
Yeah.
the immigration.
Mm,
And that's really been unfortunate and tough
yeah,
because those are also aspects for every business. Everybody's been impacted in multiple ways,
completely.
and it's also every business, like those are all things that they didn't, none of us controlled.
No.
So it's a really challenging, I think, when it's one thing, when it's like, hey, you're sort of the author of it,
Right.
but a whole other thing when you're like, you're trying to react and be, like as strategic as possible to sort of pivot. And there's so much volatility.
Yeah.
So it's
And
been
unpredictable.
really, yeah, and
So
unpredictability. It's
unpredictable.
been so challenging. I think there is a very vibrant manufacturing community,
Mm,
for fashion in Los Angeles that's been incredibly impacted by
yeah.
everything going on with immigration. And that's,
And
you know, it's
that's
been really
hard too,
interesting.
especially because I know LA has a good manufacturing. I mean, people that I know that are starting out,
Us,
like they
tons.
almost look to that
Yeah.
or out, even if the costs are a little bit higher, they're still looking
It's
to do
so
that. And
good. Yeah,
yeah.
especially in knits and denim, wash
Yeah.
houses. I mean, it's the best. And, it's been really impacted. So
Yeah.
that's been really sad. So it's been challenging.
Yeah.
Different, very not challenging like where you're like, has it changed in terms
Right.
of like, no, but like so challenging with the other areas this
Yeah.
year.
And
Yeah.
you don't really know which way to go with it because they're not really
Not
sure.
really, because we're not,
There's
yeah,
no
it
true
changes.
direction.
And it
Yeah.
gets so
There's
nuts.
no answers.
No answers. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard for brands, especially if they're starting out.
Oh yeah, so hard.
Has your background, I know you have a background in luxury, has that helped in in this industry as you've seen it over the years?
Definitely, I think so. I think it's more of my own sensibility, my own,
That's what, yeah.
yeah, acuity. I think the thing that is the most helpful is having like experience in the whole circle. So
Yeah.
I'm always constantly grateful that I had such a vibrant like retail background as well as whole, so I really have a great understanding of the whole wheel. And then now, of course, these last 7 years, I've had my footwear brand, and so now I manufacture. So it's really
Mm.
like I really understand like the whole, all of,
All the
yeah,
parts.
which
Yeah.
is really, really helpful, very helpful.
What
Yeah.
made you start the shoe line? What was that? Is that
Honestly, it was just a honest need. Like I couldn't find what I was looking for in the
Mm.
market, which was just like a stylish, cool, but super comfortable like shoe that could sandal or
Yeah.
that could take me through my day, my whole day. And I'm like, I know a lot of, really dynamic, diverse women that have like a lot of diversity in their life of like mom, business
Yeah.
owner, like gotta go home, gotta run to the market, gotta go out and walk your dog, gotta go to a school meeting, gotta go to a regular meeting, like, and then gonna go try to work out and didn't, want to change their shoes throughout their day. So I just decided I was like, screw it, I'm gonna make
Yeah.
one.
Oh, I love that. I love That's awesome.
I know one thing about making, because everybody's like, "Oh, amazing! You must have known like
Yeah.
everything about making footwear." And I'm like, "No, I didn't know one thing. It was so crazy." But anyway,
It's
so
that's
grateful.
that's so inspiring though, and I think it says a lot for you and like who you are and your knowledge to be able to do that. And you said 7 years you did it.
7 years.
That's I mean you yeah that you passed that 5 year mark, which is always
Yeah, it's hard. It's
that's
so
a
hard.
that's a
So
tough one to get to. So
yeah, so proud of
um
our little guy. Yeah.
what's the name of the brand? What's is it?
My footwear brand is called Rome.
Oh,
So
okay, cool. Yes,
yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, Rome, and then our Instagram is Rome Wears.
Oh,
But yeah, it's been so it's also been so fun of like as grateful as I am for like this sort of one area that, it's like great. You have great capacity
yeah.
and understanding and a acumen here. I love having those areas in my life that I'm like freaking like underwater like
Yeah.
here. I have no idea, like it's
Yeah.
one or like I'm learning or like I'm
Yeah.
just like holy shit, I don't know what
Yeah.
I'm so
There's
I
something
love.
that feels good about it.
Yeah,
It's
it's really inspiring. Like,
it is.
really figure like super challenging, but
Yeah.
I love that like perspective. It
Yeah.
just
And
yeah,
it
the
pushes you.
perspective,
I
which
think
keeps
it really
me
pushes you in
inspires
keep going.
me,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
keeps you humble.
Oh,
To be like, so what that
right.
you crushing here. It's like you don't know shit here.
Yeah, yeah. That's so true. That's so
Where
true. Oh, I love it. It's
I love
yeah,
that dichotomy of being like,
of
yeah,
both.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
You're like very confident, and then it's like, oh, I got to figure this all out.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's a good, I feel like that's motivate. I mean, that motivates me
Me
more than anything
too.
is to be in
Me
something that
too. Me
I have
too.
to
Me too.
figure
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. How
Um,
about for you? How long have you had the podcast? And
yeah,
yeah.
so I've had this for almost 3 years, the podcast.
Wow,
Yeah, and then
amazing.
I mean, I've been in the fashion industry in many different
Forever. Yeah,
ways.
I
Yeah,
know. You have an
forever. So I
extensive
was
background
doing,
too.
yeah. And it evolves, it pivots. I mean, I had my boutique for 9 years and I was working with different brands and trying to get them, I was trying to get myself more exposure in them, and that's what led to doing a lot of TV work. I mean, I just basically
Wow. And
going on air and talking about brands. Yeah,
that's I was just gonna ask, like, is
yeah,
that how this
it
evolved?
is. Yep. It's
Wow,
exactly how it
so
evolved.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. And it just
Amazing.
kind of, I wanted a platform because I was doing so much with on air and, you have to go through producers and you have to talk to different people to get things approved. And I was meeting so many good, I mean, the industry is full of entrepreneurs and people with so much knowledge in the fashion and beauty industry. And I wanted another platform that I didn't have no one was controlling me with where I could put it or what I had to say. And I can talk directly to people and have this opportunity, to get to know you in
Yeah.
one way and to share that with an audience of people that love the same type of things, or maybe
Yeah.
they're breaking into it or they have a boutique or they're trying to do something and
Yes.
like, how do I do it? And talking to someone like you gives that insider, point of view into it, which I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
love. I love
It's
it.
so cool. It's so
Yeah.
cool how it also organically
It,
just kind
it
of
does.
unfolded and expanded for you as
Yeah. And when
well.
you let it, I say it, you got to let it go. Like you have to trust it.
Yeah, get out of the
Change.
way. Like just
Yeah.
yeah, let it happen, right? Instead of
You
resist.
know?
But I
Don't
love
let-
that you
Thank
didn't
you.
you also like you didn't resist it. Like you were
No.
like, okay, I'm just gonna go with it.
It,
Yeah.
and it was hard. I tell people all the time, I'm like, having a boutique was my dream come true. It was like I was in college dreaming about it. I did everything you can imagine to get to that. I lived at home so I could afford, all these
Yeah,
different
yeah.
things.
I feel yeah, I
And so
love
to
that.
be able to
To
in
walk
9 years,
away was
yes,
like a big deal. Yeah,
big
yeah.
deal, big deal. But the
Amazing.
best thing I could have done, so it's funny you
Yeah.
don't realize what if you trust it. I mean, so cliche to say trust the process and all that stuff, but it really is
Yeah, I agree.
very
I'm
true.
super with
Very
you on
true.
that. Yeah.
Um,
Such
no, it's and I feel like it led me to this. Like I'm sit down and I'm like, wow, I was in showrooms and it was like intimidating and overwhelming. Like I was young doing it and thinking,
yeah,
how do I do
20-year-old
this?
kid, right? Yeah, me too. I was so young too when I
Yeah.
started.
No, yeah,
Anyways,
yeah. I was so young. And it's like,
yeah,
it's just, you have to go into it. You just have to jump into it.
yeah.
And like, I stood there and I remember, I tell this story all the time because I was at a showroom and it was one of the first ones I went to and in New York. And they asked me, what are your, are they talked about minimums, and I was like,
I don't
what?
know. Yeah.
I don't know. Tell me. And then they said a 2.2 markup, and I sat down and I was like, yes, that's the markup. Because I
Yeah.
didn't,
You just
oh,
didn't know. Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
know, and I
aren't you like, you're so proud of your 20 something year old
so
self?
proud.
Yeah, me too. I'm
Ah,
just like, sometimes, I think like all of us have to be
yeah,
like, you know what, 20-year-old self, like
yeah,
right on,
right.
like
Because
this
it's
is
like,
so awesome. Yeah, all of it.
not
Yeah.
easy. And now when you're older, you're like, wow, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah. But
You know?
I think at that age, and I was exactly the same as you, like I don't know, you kind of don't, you really are, or I'm so thankful, I know you are too, but
Yeah.
so thankful that you didn't disrupt, like you just let it happen,
I'm
like
glad.
when you're just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna figure it
Totally.
out.
Yeah.
I'm
And
gonna
I
figure
think
it out.
you
I don't
don't have
know.
things blocking you. Like,
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
that
It's not
happened.
like, oh, what about this? What about? It's like, I don't know. I'll
I
just
didn't
figure
know
it
any
out.
of it.
Yeah,
It
yeah. I
didn't
love
exist.
that. I love
It
that.
didn't
Oh, I
exist.
love knowing that
I
about you.
want that always. I say that now. I'm like, I wish I could get my head away from the know, like almost knowing too much. You know,
Yeah.
you almost
Sometimes,
know you're
yeah,
so aware
yeah,
of things now that I didn't know those things, so I had nothing to worry about. I just did it,
yeah.
and,
Like the ignorance is bliss, almost.
completely.
Yeah,
That saying is so accurate and so true.
yeah.
But
I get it.
how would you say the name of the podcast is Live the Glamour? How would you say day to day you do that? You live the glamour.
I think, it's such a personal thing for each one of us. And I think that, really depositing back into yourself is really living the glamour.
Mm,
And what that means to me or what that means to you is totally a different thing. I'm really always been like a huge passion for wellness and fitness and health. And so those are things that are constantly, consistently like pouring into
mm,
myself on a daily basis. And I really put a lot of energy into that. And that is kind of like, dictates all of it, the rest of it for me. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I
How
love
about
it.
for you? How about for
Yeah,
you?
no, it's funny because I love asking this question because it is so different for everyone, and everyone's
Yeah.
answers are always so they're it's like I can touch on everyone's answer and see it. I mean, for me, a lot of I love wellness too. I'm similar, but I my day to day like living the glamour is I want to experience everything in such a positive way, and I try
Yeah.
to wake up and I start the day, even just laying in bed, I'll do some affirmations and I say things to just be positive and be motivated,
Yeah.
and I just try to find like the best highlights of the day. And for me,
Yeah.
that's how I find a little bit of glamour, because maybe it was going and shopping and finding the perfect bag, or maybe it was the time I spent with my nieces, at
Totally. Totally.
so
Totally.
that's
Totally.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. And it
Great.
is, it's unique to everyone. And I think
Yeah.
I
I feel
want,
the same. I feel
yeah,
exactly
I
that,
want
just what you're saying, or starting your day and with positivity. And mine is a huge part of mine is gratitude. So the same, like I wake up
I
and I'm
love
like
it.
just
Yeah.
grateful to be here,
Yeah. And
like, yeah,
I think that gets you to all these, the accomplishments and everything that you've done is just by being that type of I mean, you could just tell from your personality. It's like you exude a very good, happy feeling.
Thank you. Same for you.
Thank
Same
you.
for you. Yeah, your
Thank
energy is so
you. Thank
amazing.
you.
And just,
Oh,
yeah,
I appreciate
thank you
it.
so much
Yeah.
for having me or sharing today.
Yes. No,
I
I love
loved our
having
share
you.
so much.
I think these conversations are important to just to share with everyone. So I'm glad I'm able to do it. Where can
Yeah.
everybody find you on website, social media, anything like?
Yeah, so we're my agency is Hatch Inc. It's our Instagram is Hatch Inc.
Okay.
Our footwear brand is Rome, and it's at Rome Wears.
Cool.
And that's where you can find us.
I love it. Thank you, Kay, so much. This is so awesome. This is great talking
Yeah,
to you. I really
you
appreciate
too.
your time.